being outside of it.
Good to see you.
Yeah. First time testing.
뭐 사냥와 알레지즈 하니론도 이마 같은도 한요와 오펑가라 한요와니 무슨 했다 한요와 봉위레자 봉나스코지론도 열었다 우마가 자 한요와니 여모야 똑가기야다 이마도까게 한요와니 Mvskoke 알로까가 연하기데 미자가 마도다 지게자게도는도 한요와 Tukpilakko, Balhokkolen, Ustakahakagen, Tuskamappihat Nitta, Agisletska, Hanyawadi, we lazy at that. Yeah, Council Oak, Yaziat, Hanyawat, Alezi Zahani Dundui. Nagi of Molangi, Azalagat, that Nagi des Bumwe Gagging, Bumwe Cookie Dundo. Nagi omuwaga talagi legend pungi chuzi dundo wezen nagi muwe kugi di dundoi nagi hanyuwad omaga da hanyuwadi ditada omagi ezia ofunga da punhiten muwe dundo so hanyuwad awile de jat awile da Muak don't know Hanyuaya, Soldawagi, Dalilema, Asti Jetsoyani Dundo. Our honor guard is going to bring in the colors. If you can stand, please stand as we bring these in. Mado. Thank you. To all our veterans who are here today, we honor you. As the call came, you answered that call. We thank you for your sacrifices. We thank you for your dedication. We thank you for making it home. We think about the ones who are still MIA, the ones who did not make it home. We think of you every day, and we are proud that you serve this country. To the United States Armed Forces, to the Army, the Navy, the United States Marine Corps, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard, we thank you.
Order, pause, right, hey, walk, word, hard.
You may be seated. Thank you to the Mvskoke Creek Nation, Honor Guard, for their service, and when called upon, it is always good to see them as they fulfill their duties. Ya magi eziyadi. Yongwi ya hanyuat. Umaga chat. Ya tukalgiadi. Mado that chigi dono Minkalgi. Yong ya gagagat. Mado. Stimulate go die do as and man. Jim don't know Mado Magata. Hanyuat. I'd like to recognize our dignitaries who are here today. We thank you for being here. Our Principal Chief of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, Mr. David W. Hill. Second Chief of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, Mr. Dale Beaver. Representative of our Tulsa District, Mr. Leonard Gouge. Representative of our Tuckabuchee District and also our second Speaker of the National Council, Ms. Thomasina Yohola Osborne. Representative of the Mvskoke District, Mr. Darrell Proctor. McIntosh, I am so sorry. And I'm from that district. On with the program. Also, representative of the Mvskoke District, Joyce Deere. Also in attendance, and we thank you for being here, Mayor G.T. Bynum. Also, Mayor-elect Monroe Nichols. Our Ambassador of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, Jonadev Chatterjee.
Former Speaker of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, Mr. William Lowe. And also our royalty of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, our junior miss, Olivia Beaver. Also would like to recognize United States Poet Laureate, Joy Harjo. Also, former Speaker of the National Council, Mr. Thomas Uhola. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We are honored here that you are present on this day. Well, now, as we have our welcoming remarks from our Principal Chief of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, please help me welcome Mr. David W. Hill.
Mr. Jay, good morning. You know, it's every year we've had this been a very special day. Now, the fights that we've been going through this whole year, protecting our nation. A lot of things that myself, executive branch, legislative branch, and most definitely Ray Lynn and the Culture Department have been traveling, as you can see, to our original homelands. Florida, Georgia, Alabama. And the way it was brought to us about telling our story. And one of the things I had told everyone there, that it's not stories, it's history on our side of what really happened. Because the history books don't really tell you what really happened to the Mvskoke Creek people. That's one of the things that we've been sharing across the United States, and even at the DC, White House, wherever we're at, is telling them the true history of Mvskoke people. How we were removed from Florida to Georgia, Alabama, and removed again to come here, which is now home, Oklahoma. And as you can see, the tree that stands here is where we last made our place, here at Council Oak Tree. And that's why I was telling them that just recently, myself and Ray Lynn had mentioned that over 23,000 walked the Trail of Tears. And just a little bit over 18,000 made it to Oklahoma. And those are things we're fighting, because now everyone moved. The only thing we left at our original home place was our ancestors, who are still buried there. That's why we fight so hard to protect what was once ours. And just imagine, out of just a little bit over 18,000 that made it here, we're here standing. And I told some individual, just think, the people that walk, you're here today because of them. 100,000, probably over 700 citizens now from 18,000. They were strong, went through a lot of pain and suffering, walking the Trail of Tears. And as you think Monday is going to be Veteran Days, we honor those that served in the military, as Representative Clyde had mentioned. But I always consider those that fought for us back then, for our freedom. And the last war that we had was Horseshoe Bend. To me, I consider them the original veterans, warriors of the Mvskoke people who protected us. And it's up to us now to carry that on. And I mentioned out of 18,000, you got to remember, the same bloodline, the same blood that flew from those 18,000. You just got to think, one of them was your family member. That's the reason we're here today. So I want to thank all the Mikos that are here to keep the ceremonial grounds going. I may have this wrong, but I think Ray Lynn had mentioned over 40 came originally to Oklahoma. As you can see, this is what we have remaining, but they're keeping it strong. So I appreciate that. And I want to thank each and every one that came today. Mayor-elect, thank you for coming. This is probably the first time we had 2 mayors here. So I appreciate it. It means a lot to Mvskoke Creek Nation and also to the Mikos you see sitting up here. So thank you, and couldn't have a better day to have it today. All the rain we had last night, but you can see it's a beautiful day this morning. So I want to thank each and every one for attending, and appreciate it. Mado.
Mado, Chief Hill. Appreciate that. Let's give Chief Hill another hand. Thank you, Chief. As Chief mentioned, it is good to see the Tulsa leadership here today. It's really good to see that you care. As Chief was mentioning, our elders that once stood here worked together with the people that they encountered, tried to make that work. The partnership that they developed is something that we look to the future of the town of Tulsa. So we thank you. We thank you for being here. Now, I'd like to introduce the second chief of our great Mvskoke Nation, Mr. Dale Beaver.
Good morning, everyone. As I just sit back and think about what today means, it's not lost on me that almost 200 years ago, we came here. Our ancestors came here, met underneath that tree, and could they envision almost 200 years later what it would look like? I think it'd be hard for anybody to envision what it would look like. But what they did envision is that we would still be here. What they did envision is that we would not only survive, but we would thrive. And so that's what we're here today, is to celebrate who we are today. To remember those that built the foundation for us to even stand upon. As it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here, literally. That's what today is about. Remembering them, but also celebrating where we are today. And Chief is right. It's not just stories, but it's chapters in a history book. And history has a beginning, and a book has an ending. But it's up to us to make sure that those chapters are still being written. Not being finished, but we're writing those history chapters this day. Today goes down in history. What we do tomorrow goes down in history. So don't waste your opportunities. Today's a good day. Today's a great day. It's a great day to be Mvskoke also. And so we appreciate your presence here. It's good to get out and feel the sun on our face, see friends, celebrate today, but take advantage of today. It's an opportunity for us. We each have a different opportunity. And so just celebrate today. Have fun. Enjoy today. Laugh with one another. Enjoy each other's company. And it truly does mean something that we have Mayor Bonham, Mayor-elect Monroe, and Joe Deere, National Council for the Cherokee Nation. We appreciate you being here too. You're Creek also, right? So I love your hat too. But today's a good day. So let's laugh. Let's remember those that went before us. But let's not forget where we're going. So I appreciate you being here. Hello.
Thank you, Second Chief. We really appreciate those words. I emceed this event last year and I only made one mistake. And I made two already. And one was my colleague, Daryl Proctor. I messed up his district. Hope he forgives me for that. Also, I forgot, Second Chief, I forgot to mention Mr. Joe Gear, who's a councilman for the Cherokee Nation, and his district is Tulsa. So would you please stand and be recognized? My apologies. Now on with the program, we have our Mvskoke Creek Nation ambassador, who will be coming up reading the Mvskoke Creek Nation proclamation in the English language, Mr. Jonathan Chatterton.
Hello, Representative Cloud. Ixi, John Dev Chowdhury, Nogosmati, Jijivkados. I'll go as fast as I can, but every word from Principal Chief Hill's proclamation is important. A proclamation by the Principal Chief of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, declaring November 9th, 2024 as Council Oak Tree Day in recognition of the Council Oak Tree ceremony. Whereas the Mvskoke Creek Nation was forcibly removed from our ancestral homelands in the Southeast and relocated to Indian Territory in the 1830s. Whereas the Luja Boka placed the embers of their sacred fire near the towering Council Oak Tree, and this became the first gathering place where they reestablished their Talwa, tribal town, Jukotlako, ceremonial ground, played stickball games, and continued commerce and trade. Whereas the city of Tulsa gets its name from Lojaboka, who were also known as Lojaboka Tulsi, referring to Tallahassee, meaning Old Town in the Mvskoke language. And whereas the Council Oak Tree is considered a sacred place to the Mvskoke Creek Nation, and its importance was recognized in 1976 when it was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And whereas the inaugural Council Oak Tree ceremony was held on October 26, 1986, to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the arrival of the Mvskoke people. And whereas this meeting was the first time the neighboring governments of the Tulsa City Council and the Mvskoke Nation's National Council met, and whereas the Mvskoke Creek Nation continues to hold the annual Council Oak Tree ceremony to honor the founding of the city of Tulsa by Lojaboka, and to honor Mvskoke ceremonial grounds for keeping our traditions alive, and whereas the 2024 Council Oak Tree ceremony will be held on November 9th, 2024 at 11 a.m. Be it resolved that I, Principal Chief David Hill, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Principal Chief of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, do hereby proclaim November 9th, 2024 to be Council Oak Tree Day. I urge every citizen to reflect as we honor our Mvskoke ancestors who survived the forced removal on the road of misery and reestablished our tribal towns and government. At this ceremony, we recognize and honor the 16 ceremonial grounds and their members who continue to live and teach our traditions and language as they dedicate their time to protect the sacred fires that still burn today. I have hereto set my hand and seal on the 7th day of November 2024, David W. Hill, Principal Chief, Mvskoke Creek Nation. Modo.
Modo to the Ambassador of the Mvskoke Creek Nation for reading the proclamation. I would like to recognize our tribal chums who are here today. As Chief Hill spoke about the 40 grounds who were forcibly removed to Indian Territory, only 16 grounds remain. And I tell you, they're strong as ever. Our ways is tough, just as our elders were tough. The struggles, the unimaginable things you can think of that our elders went through to make it here. We hear the stories, but sometimes it's you're paused with thought. And when you think about those struggles, those hurdles, as you could say, you just can't put it into kind words or ease those words. But you think about them as we do. In a Mvskoke culture, the things that we do, the majority of things that we do, we always faced east. We face east in honor of those elders and our ancestors. And we thank the grounds who are here. If you're able to stand, please stand. Tallahassee, Wagagaya, Peach Ground, Tallahassee Cromwell, Mvskoke, Watahate, Hilabi, Hickory Ground, Greenleaf, Arbica, Alabama, Fish Pond, Duck Creek, Muddy Waters, New Yaga, New Tulsa, Polecat, we thank you. I would also like to thank, when the grounds are called back,
when the warriors come back to their grounds, when our chief hears the call of our ceremonial grounds and it's time to get the people back, things start to move. They get prepared. And it wouldn't thrive, it wouldn't go as good as it does without our Humbadahaya. A lot of our ways, we still have our older elders still there. And sometimes we ask them because they watch. Our Humbadahayas keep things going. They stay up with us all night. And so without them, the backbone, our grounds, our dances wouldn't go as smoothly. So to our Humbadahayas, we thank you. Mado. Now, I'd like to bring up one of our Mikos from our tribal town, Ajay Greenleaf, Bill Proctor, to come and read the Mvskoke Creek Nation Proclamation in the Mvskoke language.
Thank you for inviting me to read this proclamation in our own language. I want to welcome all of you. It's a language that we still speak today. And for the ones that do not know who I am, my name's Bill Proctor. I'm of the Bear Clan, and I'm from Ufology. But Yahayui Tiktangi Ambalatskat Idalwagi Imi Kudawahatskat Ayui Tiktangi Ambalatskat Mado Jigezareda Madamuin Chobileza Yezat Mo Madamuin Ayui Chihumahuilet Muid Punagadat Vizahaniat Mado Chigezareda Morgatskat Yezavatskat Moket here. Ohikchetska, Mahovat, Man, Punakadat, Futse Hojin, Man, Okonaida, go on to I don't know. Futse Hojat that, Man, Azakain, Magida, Tota, Yukchizundo, Moesh. Vijda Kohan Duerunda Mohammadin Mvskoke Media Komazulegi Dari Hazalal Hazur Salija Ega Vaskilegat Agogadi Wan Ahili Mahid Adokit Otolbi chukpi takku hangin chukpi balit sinawagi balit chinat imogida hiya istijari emegana tatskit man abiye ujadidondos man momen malujabuga idalwat madisti maskugagi inhalajis kadat Otolbi chokpi takko hamgin chokpi balin chinabagin balit chinat ibaat wan chokomujasit wat agin sa hatsid wat abiya hujadidundo mat tabukit omas mat mujanitadat tausat mat hujifki lek tu idundo moment Lujabuga mat manakaftida lakko Joska mabi mahit hilin man indot kat ajagat indot rawat sawadi mat Joska ido man alakwila mahit mat tot kadat tak staklay ho jadi dundu but imidal wat chokolakot but nakawabit manlegin harijis kuzat abats kida ako banagit momin o haralaga nak irinwait mo Vijagit, momin sidin yung boskit mo ujadidundo Tarsi talo takko, lujaboga, hujifkat, lujaboga tarsit, madan, uwadid, uwis, Mvskoke ubunaka, talaha simakat, talo huliskat, magida uwidunus. Momen, adilo kaya kita Joska mabi, majakhat. Imongit hilad man Mvskoke dalwa imajagit mahait oat alakwijit ajayijida otolbi jokpe takko hangin pali ostabagi pali kolabagin ibokagin mat idalwan istima awagat mat iskilkwidida ojagat Oga, iku jadi dulu. Momen edukal kita terus kemabit, nakaf kita, inhalis kita, ajai kita, adilogit, ojagat, udah waskilako, inita, pali hokoli, ibukagin, otolbi chok pilako hamgil. Chokpi ostabagin, ibokagin. When he had this kadar, Mvskoke but Klodajit, Otolbi, Chokpi hangim, Palin, Chak Kivin, Odin, when he was a god, a lakwijit, Ojagi, Omimonga Dunus. Moment, he had nakaftidat, mat Tasar talo palakko. Imolay dunga man chahmelegit mo imadot ka umid haladagat momin Mvskoke dalwa asa naktawa inhadajis kamat idigil sagit owadidunda Mvskoke dalwa tan utol biham man alaygat mat nakaftider takko Joska mabi hiyan idok kalgit malujaboga umijejit tarzatalo takko man alayjijat momin Mvskoke imidalwat chokolakko ojagit imongit, punfulat, mo lakkurat, nakaftit, lakkuisit, imong ginunulos. Man, i Čečka, hier mat, movodonos, bikut, adidanwa, ja, usada hanat, but emi hujidano, biko, adis. Adi David Hill, Mvskoke Darwa, Mvskoke Uwit, Mayiksida Amho Yadi, Puitlaya, Momin Iholi Nitta, Ostabarat, Ostolobi, Chokpilakko, Bali Hokolin, Ostagarat, Majoska Mabinitat, Man, Oyik Chejit, Estimaskogi, Umajologi Dadi. Mat hilimahin adopit huyadi manini istimis kita dat usabarit istimis kita takpo hizagit yezagri madami jezin momen idalwada ahos kasal man pumistawa Sahoya ja owa Sahoya ja Oji ondos here a lakwiska Polia Madhamgin Ibokagin Oji monge Mad umomin imidalwat Polaga imonge doit momin puma bayay jadi Pola moin Pumunakala Punahoid Mo Mahait Imongis, Omijajit, Totka, Ajaichkit, Momin, Mojanitara, Alaga, Ahikit, Imongot, Imongin Rondors, Agi Tahejin, Hian Chankit Oit, Osade, Momin, Iski Sahaya, Hianita, Iholi, Ostabagit, Chokpilakko, Hokolin, Bali Hokolin, Ostagarat, when Chahojifkan, when Ohuileja, and I don't know. Magiran, Vijibahan, we don't know. Yeah. Futse Hoja. Ayoi. Chihumohuilea. Magida. Umulakarat. Tora malak in the West Tues. Was it into that? When Punakarat. Biji Mungidunga. Madisti. Mvskoke Media. Ayoi, Nagatia. But Choskamabi, Nita, Maho, but so for Jijagidundo, was it into that? Ayoi, Adilo Watskan, Omagatskan, Mado Chigatsakai, Mo, Madamo, Hidalwalega, Hidalwagi. Man, abokan, mo madamuin, tiktangi, ambal hoyan, mo do chigat sakay. Maligo rimakke, man, tispek po ni Bedundo. Asisi lalabin in Miko that muy bonayat manata gauzi dundo. Nagi bonai izak man. Bonai da istijali in bonaiga Mvskoke. Manata musung gibinun. Ayibidun do asin. Ani ata alegayat. Ya bidagi that full lagat manata hizayat. Yamaha hoisen. Muy full lacton no at English lagi. Manata Yamada moe there's other lagat that ya takwi so youngi. Mo mada moe agis le zagat. Mo agi di dundo agis le JD. Anyuat. Hada mado jiges dundo amiko. Noy bona itza. Now, I would like to welcome the mayor of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Mr. G.T. Bynum.
Thank you very much. Before I say anything, I want to say how much it means to me that you invited me to this today, and to all the folks who do the work every year to organize this, to honor the heritage of our city. I want to recognize my colleagues from the Tulsa City Council. We are in her district. Councilor Laura Bellis is here today. Councilor Lori Dector Wright, who was just overwhelmingly reelected. I also want to recognize our Parks Director, Anna America, who is here today. A wonderful leader on the Greater Tulsa Area Indian Affairs Commission, Cheryl Cohenauer. Cheryl, thank you for all your work. Our Chief Administrative Officer for the city, Kimberly Madden. And the leader of the University of Oklahoma here in Tulsa, Susan Bynum. I know she's happy to see a lot of OU fans. And it is wonderful to be here. I get to be, for the next 23 days, I am yesterday's news. And it is wonderful to be here with the future of Tulsa, our new mayor, Monroe Nichols. I'm so grateful for the way that you organize this ceremony every year, because the history of our city is deeply personal to me. My family came here in the 1870s. I have pictures of my great-grandfather playing stickball with his Creek Indian neighbor kids, maybe right here, back in the probably 1880s, 1890s. In the 1960s, this sacred ground was in private hands and was, as you can see all around us, development had just been closing in on the Council Oak Tree, and there was a developer who was going to tear it down and build apartments right here. And our young street commissioner at the time, Robert LaFortune, organized a land swap of city property with that developer and saved the Council Oak Tree. It has been in the city's hands for the last 60 years as a result of that swap, instead of being destroyed. During my own time as mayor, it has been incredibly important to me that the city do a better job of recognizing our heritage. So much of what we love about Tulsa comes from the origin of our city that Chief Hill spoke about. The resilience that we love in Tulsans. The fact that we watch out for one another in difficult times, our compassion. The fact that we are a welcoming home to those who have lost their homes from all around the world today. All of that originates in the origin story that happened right across the street over here at the foot of the Council Oak. When our city was founded in tragedy on the top of a hill overlooking the Arkansas River Valley. Not many cities anywhere in the world get to have such a physical representation of all that is special about their community like we have with the Council Oak. But while we have been stewards at the city of Tulsa of this land across the street and here at Stickball Park, I think there's always been a sense that the rightful owners of this are the Mvskoke Creek people. And so today I want to announce that as the mayor, I am initiating the transfer of the Council Oak tree, that site, and Stickball Park to the Mvskoke Creek Nation. And it is very important for me to know the city of Tulsa will continue to fund the maintenance of this site. We're not, thank you, Chief. But the decisions about what happens on this sacred ground need to be made by the Mvskoke Creek Nation moving forward. And that is why we are initiating this transfer of land. I want to thank the team at the Mvskoke Creek Nation, our Parks Director, Anna America, our Park Board, all of whom have been working on this. And I want to thank our Mayor Nichols, who will probably get to sign the documents that make it official, unless the city can just move in rapid speed in the next 23 days. But this is important for us as a community as we continue to find ways that we can properly honor our heritage and the origins of our city. Tulsa would not exist if it were not for the Mvskoke Creek Nation. And this is one way that we can properly recognize that. I have here, you're getting all sorts of proclamations today, Chief. I have here, and I'm not going to read it because it is it is lengthy, but I think it properly recognizes why this is special. Mostly I wanted to commemorate this day. Not just that we do it on an annual basis, but the significance of this, the initiation of this transfer as a historic moment for our city in being the kind of city that we want Tulsa to be. And so Chief Hill has done this already for the Mvskoke Creek Nation, but as the mayor of 400,000 people here in the city of Tulsa who are so grateful for all of those who came here and founded our city at the end of the Trail of Tears, I want to declare today Council Oak Tree Day here in the city of Tulsa. I'd like to give this to you, Chief. Thank you.
What a historic day that was, or a moment. Thank you, Mayor Bynum, for that. Thank you very much. Thank you to your work here. And I know we've said in some meetings with the chief and you as well. So I just want to thank you for your leadership and the things that you have shown to the Mvskoke Creek Nation. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What a historical moment that was. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome the new mayor-elect, Monroe Nichols.
I'll read all that. No, I'm just kidding. You're doing a fantastic job. People don't realize the toughest job doing these things is his job right now. So first of all, thank you for the invitation to be here, to Chief Hill, to Second Chief, Beaver, to members of the National Council who are here, Mayor Bynum, members of the City Council, even my dog Joe Deere. So good to see everybody here. Thank you all for being here. You know, it is a cool opportunity. I was sitting thinking about the folks who have spoke before, the importance of history, and I think there's not a better student of Tulsa history than Mayor Bynum, and Second Chief talked about the chapters that we still have left to write. And I thought about that a little bit. I thought about the fact that the Council Oak Tree represents such an important part of our history in Tulsa, and really important part of our history as a nation. And I always think, why do we care about history? Certainly we care about it for the story and the context and to remember sacrifice, but what does that mean for us today? It should serve as a challenge and a great obligation for us to ensure that the sacrifices that were endured for us to be here today and any day are sacrifices that motivate us to ensure that we are a community that is not only united, but a community that is aggressive in how we think about progress. Over the last 15 months, I've been talking about some of those issues. Been talking about issues of homelessness and student outcomes and public safety and economic development, and I know because of the numbers that it impacts tribal communities in very unique ways. And so I think about the work ahead, Chief Hill. I think about the work that we're going to do to not only remember, but to ultimate respect to those who came before us by making sure that nobody sleeps on the streets on this reservation. To make sure that on this reservation, all young people have an opportunity. To make sure that on this reservation, we live in safe communities. And on this reservation, we are always standing strong and united in our defense of tribal sovereignty. And so coming in as a new mayor, I can tell you there's a couple things I want everybody to remember. That over the next 23 days, if you have a complaint, it goes to him. And if you have ideas about how to continue to make Tulsa the best place in the country to live, to raise a child, to open a business, my door is always open. My door is always open. I can't wait to start the work that we'll do together. I know many of you may know in my plans, and it'll be announced in the transition, that we will have a director of tribal policy and partnerships, because what I know about the future of Tulsa is that if we can do it together, if we can move past some of our technical challenges that we might have, there won't be a better city in the country than Tulsa, Oklahoma. There won't be a stronger reservation in the land than the Mvskoke Creek Nation Reservation. Thank you so much for inviting me out today.
Once again, thank you, Mayor Bynum. Thank you, newly elected Mayor, Mr. Monroe. Thank you to your staff for being here also. Thank you very much. Now, we move on to our next presentation. When I first come in as newly elected there at the Mvskoke Creek Nation, there was talks of our new Culture and Humanities Department. And it was a talk that Chief and Second Chief has had for some time. And when things were starting to move, things were starting to develop, we come together and we work together and we develop the Culture and Humanities Department. And so that is a new department at the Mvskoke Creek Nation. It's thriving. It's where our questions from our citizens, from different departments about our culture, about our language, is all directed to. And as we looked and as we searched for somebody that could guide and direct that department, there was no better than the lady that I'm fixing to introduce, who has taken this program and has led her staff, and she protects our southeast
properties, I guess you could say, are where we come from. To make sure that the Mvskoke people are not forgotten there. To make sure that we are not overlooked. So with that, I'd like to introduce the Culture and Humanities Secretary, Ms. Raylyn Butler. Bagan Tallahassee.
Raylyn Butler, Jalhujifkados, Almalegida, Wakogi, Almadowa, Pecan, Tallahassee. My name's Raylyn Butler, and I'm from the Raccoon Clan, and I'm from Peach Ground, Ceremonial Ground. It's an honor to be here today. Very exciting news, and I'm so excited to know that this land is going to be returned to the Mvskoke Creek Nation. It's an awesome day. Awesome, so good. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the history and significance of this tree. I also want to thank all the Mvskoke from all the grounds and Yuchi grounds that are here today. You know, without them and their commitment and dedication, our way of life would be gone. You know, and so they don't do this, they don't get paid to do it. It's their lifetime positions, and we have the deepest respect for them. You know, today you heard a lot of the Mvskoke language because it's important. It's a part of who we are. We believe that there's less than 300 speakers left. So it was a privilege for you all to hear so much Mvskoke spoken today. To have a proclamation in the language, that's important. We're expressing our tribal sovereignty and being true to who we are as Mvskoke people. The Lojaboga, our Upper Creek town that lived along the Tallapoosa River in Alabama. They're near present-day Tallahassee, Alabama. And in 1836, they were forcibly removed. And over 400 made that journey from Lojaboga. And as they came into Indian Territory, along the Arkansas River, following the river, they seen a hill and this towering council oak tree, and they decided this would be their new home. This is where the sacred fire that they carried would be placed. And we're sitting on part of their ceremonial ground in Tribal Town. It took over 4 months to make that journey walking here. Many didn't make it. And this tree is a symbol of survival and endurance of the Mvskoke Creek people and the Yuchi people. You know, we recognize and honor all the survivors of the trail today, but also that we still have our language. It's a celebration of our culture and our lifeways. And that's why we have these Mvskoke sitting over here, because without them, you know, committed, and without our leadership committed to preserving and protecting our culture, we wouldn't have it. And so, you know, the Department of Culture and Humanities, we're striving to protect our language, to expand. We want our ears to understand that language again. And we are committed to ensuring that these remain public places, that we improve the signage, that we prevent dogs from being in here. No, I'm kidding. But we are really excited about the opportunity. I also want to thank the Riverview neighborhood and also the Tallahassee Council Oak Foundation. We've been partnering with them over the last few years. You know, it takes a community to protect, and everybody is passionate and cares about the well-being of this tree and this land. And so we're very thankful to work with the local parks, local community. I'd like to recognize those who are on the Creek Council Oak Foundation. If you'd like to stand, I'd just like to thank you for all your work over the last years in helping us. We do have Council Oak t-shirts for sale. They're part of a fundraiser. We also have cups and hats over in the back table there also. But Mado, for everyone for being here. Thank you for being a part of history today and celebrating this important sacred tree, Mado.
Mado really in for that. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Anthony Beaver from New York, Idola. We'll be talking about the importance of our ceremonial grounds. Mr. Anthony Beaver.
Stungo. Good afternoon. I'm Idola, New York. New York Does Anthony Beaver, Jaho Jipkiros. I'm a Legada Hadadogi. Haram Maro, Idola Mikogi, or Yuchoki, Hambarai Ogi, for being here today. It's always a pleasure. Seeing you all here makes this day an event. It means even more with you guys here. So, Maro. Today I'm going to speak to you all about the importance of our ceremonial ground, Jogothako. I know what I'm about to speak to you is something that our Mikogi, Idolologi, have been doing to the utmost best, as we all have that responsibility to continue to fulfill our obligation as Mvskoke, as it was done by our ancestors that came before us. The ceremonial ground, Jogothako, is and always will be the center of our universe. It is why we are all gathered here today. The ceremonial ground is where our life begins, and it is where our life ends. It is where our stories, our clans, our dances, our songs, our past, present, and future is all intertwined into one. Jogothako is the backbone and the heartbeat of the Mvskoke Nation. Without our tribal towns, without our ceremonial grounds, we cease to exist. There is no Mvskoke Nation as we know it today without it. I think about those that came before us, the ones we hear stories about, the ones that we didn't know. I think about what they did for us to be who we are. We owe everything to them. They gave their lives for us, and we owe it to them to not to give up and not to give in. Our ancestors are the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice. It is our duty, our responsibility, our obligation to fulfill and carry on what our Creator gave us, what our ancestors gave us, which is the ceremonial ground, which is our language, Mvskoke Obanaga, Yuchi Obanaga, our culture, our traditions. That's our true Mvskoke way of life. We cannot change or reverse the facts of history, from our shared ancient history to the treaties in between, to the Indian Removal Act of 1830, the Indian Territory, the Indian Reorganization Era, the Termination Era, the Allotment Era, the House of Kings and the House of Warriors, onto today. We must never forget or shy away from who we are. So as Mvskoke, we must continue to state our tribal towns and our clans proudly. Take part and take care of your ceremonial ground. Care and love for one another. Our Idola Mikogi has always defended and protected our very own existence as a people. We all come from a bloodline of strong people. We all have a part in ensuring our future is one that our ancestors can be proud of. So in closing, to our Mikogi, Hambaraogi, Yuchogi, our tribal towns, continue to exercise your inherent sovereignty right. The tribal towns, as we know, are still a very important source of social and cultural identity. As I was told, the ceremonial grounds of the Mvskoke Path, it is a link to our ancestors. It is as close as we will ever be to the Creator when we are there. Jogothako is not a commemorative religion. It is forever continuation of who we truly are. But Ojigages.
Hello, Anthony. Now I'm going to bring up another chief who's going to speak. And we have maybe 2 or 3 chiefs who has been on
who has been a chief of their ceremonial ground for maybe over 50 years. Mr. Miko, George Thompson has been the chief at Ojibwa, and since he was young. In the chief system, it's not very long. Since removal, there's only been 4. And I believe Miko Thompson is the 4th one. Miko Thompson also sits on our Supreme Court. And now, I'd like to give some time for him to come and speak. Kusa Miko, Mr. George Thompson.
Ayui tiktangi ka hoya. Malo makedus. We ways market. The data one of the was it done. Ayui yanaka about to is. Moen you go from that no wadi. The taham was on the ways was. Have a bottle, have a region. Ayui idukakia. Dagi sakos. Akitseje. Owen was a data ayui. Arinokia. Omistani. Omandelani. Asusa leja go given. I don't get a how already you do it. Owen. Look the bova, all that. Here, he gonna. The bowels are to what he's going to be, he's going to do his ways. In Legida, I had it doing. But with the nature, I guess, a saki jia. The half they do is going, I guess they do. Having said that, I've been involved with these ceremonies since the time of the beginning. It's when Mr. Thornberry Hill started this. And as the years go by, I look over to my left. There's a lot of familiar faces that we don't see anymore. They're going on to better place. And it's up to us to carry on what they left for us. Remember that. Anyway, today, we are here to commemorate the Boba Tribal Day. As you all know, we were removed from our ancestral homelands in Alabama through hardship, conditions that were very suitable for elderlies and the children as well. We lost many people on the way. Through our Creator looking down on us. Some of us managed to get here. And that is why Lujabova, we mentioned Lujabova today, is that somewhere in this area, that's where they settled their ground. That is why we are here today. I just want to make a short speech on that one. And in closing, I would like to thank Mayor Bynum and Mayor-elect Nichols for being part of this ceremony. Thank you.
But Miko George Thompson, but for them words. As Miko Thompson was speaking about the ones who had went on, as he spoke about when he looks to his left, you can see the familiar faces that once was. Moin, boleh izat, dauzi dundo. Azullah got that. The most could be Magibi Dai Dundui. The Manida be Yakin, Hospital of Jedson. Nagi Miziat. Who won't fetch to be good eye, Dundui. Nagi Muaga, Bumahahu Yat. I guess let you know what. Dauzi. Pumadulungi, Nagi Mizagat. Sabi Bahani Dundui. Madigushi Dundo. When I guess that's AD. And you know what? As Miko Thompson was talking and spoke about all the ones that have passed, we honor them. We miss them. We think about them. We think about the ones that we lost on removal, the ones we've lost in the past, to the ones we have lost currently. One comes to mind, Arbika, Talladega, Harley Wayne Lewis. So I would like to take a moment of silence for those ones that are no longer here. Mado for your sacrifice. Mado for keeping the ways as strong as you could. We miss you and we think of you, Mado. Hanyawad. Go make Galgadat. Gaga, Hanyawadi. You're not busy at the Fukunonezan, I don't know. Nagi Hanyawadi, Mikalginak. Boneda. Gazak, no Wadi, Hanyawadi, Dick Dungy, we don't do Magak. So, yeah, your home legend said, Yabatabi. We're going to give some time to our Mikogis for some closing remarks.
Good afternoon. Pretty day today, and good to see this big crowd that has come out for this oak tree ceremony. My name is Felix Brown Jr. I'm from Mvskoke Ceremonial Ground. It's a Uchi Creek ground. Been coming to this thing, to this oak tree ceremony many years. Used to be right up here. It's a little spot. And people would have to stand out here. And it's, like I said, it's good to see our Mikos that I still respect them. For them to come down to be a part of this ceremony. For cultural preservation. I know you got to think about this. You always think about this after we're done here for the next time. And then when you got, like I said, go to out southeast for the lands that we occupy out there. But I want to thank everybody for coming to be a part of this. Our ground, Mvskoke, we're open to, you come out, but make sure you're, let us know who you're with when you come. But I just had a few words, and like I said, I was a part of when we went to Atlanta, and that's we had a big turnout for that event, and I respect Ojibwa for carrying it on, keep it going, keep our ground. I never did like anybody being dug up in ceremonials, or not only ceremonies, any type of grave site, being taken part, because it's just not our way. So I want to thank everybody coming out, and enjoy your day. Ooh.
A little over a month ago, we took a trip to Atlanta. That was on behalf of our ceremonial house with the Ojibwa. And the caption for that trip, for that journey, was justice for the journey. And when everything was over, that is what we received, justice. Been involved with this for almost 20 years, and it was something I enjoyed hearing. I've been meaning to thank everybody for making a trip. It was a long ways to go. And even if you didn't go, even if you just showed concern, that's what matters. Thank you.
Madam, President Hanyuat, Skickade där har hon inte känns då i det. Kau mikro molget abogadet. Ingi usaga da takkiven de sin way spahit. Mada ujigal gadoste. So ko beteza abogadi yo. Ingi usaga takkivadet. Sin way spahit mak de koidunga. Bo maar maar sin. Asiga da chimita gadoste. Bro. Mas det han ju att nu var det. Simon Joksik då var det hedden. På med då vad jag har i och folket. Full han i dun då är han ju att när där så att sig haget. I då kolgi att dun då är han ju att där i. Jag så på det dit på hagen his där då så att figa vi är det. Han ser och kallar det så att vi då var det. Så går vi till såg idag var det såg på att skadet några rid. Det på man det idag går det då är smart och kul lunga. Jag idag läs på vad det var jo. Han ju inte känns då att skulle kul då är. Vilket är att den har håll några man då kommer ihåg då det lunga. Och mar motion. Jag bok då att skulle kul då är. Maro magen daar is ponjik dat nu de stoes maro maket. Moen han ju han nu har det. Abi ketalla ligger då jag har det. Maro utget så vända vi kunde väl se.
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, okay. I must be losing my hearing. But anyway, as I sit here today, I think about how our ancestors fought in the war at Horseshoe Bend. And you kind of get that same feeling here today. I do. Our people went through a lot. And in that war, there were 6 grounds that fought in that war. And they were all massacred. Even women and children, old people. And I went down there this past year. I've never been back east because they used to tell us there's nothing there for us. And when I did go back, there was nothing there. There was no feeling of comfort. And today, I just sit here and I think about what Idawa Luzabova, my whole life. If there's any people here from that ground today, I know how you feel because I have that same feeling. And to be here today, to see all the people here, and these Mikos sitting over here. We all, like Abika Miko said, we all help each other. Because back in those days, there used to be a lot of them there at each ground. There could have been 250, 300.